Hey guys, welcome to Prepared Mentality. Uh, I've been asked to do this for my family and my friends who've been asking me questions about the current world that we're in and the situation that we're in right now with COVID-19. And they've asked me, kind of give them a little bit of help in different areas of preparing for what's going to happen next, what they should do now. And the reason they asked me is a little bit about me and my background. I have first responder um, training and fire rescue and operations for hazmat. Um, I have multiple FEMA certifications for emergency management and was a part of the MP Corps, Assist Protect Defense, all my battles out there who are watching this. Um, and currently I am continuing my education in Homeland Security and emergency preparedness. So those are just a few things that my skills are in. I know a little bit about a lot, so I'm not an expert on any particular thing, but my go-to is emergency preparedness currently right now. So just a few thoughts that I had about what's going on in the world that we're living in right now. I know it's difficult. I know a lot of people are stressed. I know a lot of people have been laid off. A few of my buddies have been laid off. I know people who are sick currently and getting better. There are a lot of good things that are happening right now. There's a lot of family connections. People are talking to each other who I haven't talked to in a while. I'm getting phone calls that I haven't gotten in a long time. So that's a good thing. But we also have to be aware and prepared for things to come and situation that we're in right now. And my thoughts are little things that can help you guys at home. I have a few things written down here. Number one thing for me, I would say, is food and water. You're always going to need food and water, especially if you have a big family, a family of 3, 4, 5. If you have grandparents living with you, if you have kids living with you, you're definitely going to need a lot of food and water. Canned goods, non-perishable foods, stuff that's going to last. Getting stuff out of the frozen food sections, um, even freezing things. Like chicken and beefs and fish, if you can, if you have the storage to do so. Definitely, food and water is going to be on my top things on my list. Water again. Um, Bottled water is good. It's a good to go and grab and get out the way type of thing. 1 gallon water jugs are great. You can store those underneath the bed, in a closet, in the basement, in the attic somewhere, where room temperature. You don't want any sun to get to any of your water supply. Definitely, if you guys can get a water filter, something that you can get it from Walmart, Home Depot, Lowe's. They have water filters that you can just pour water from the sink in. It'll filter out your water for you. So this way you're not using your bottled water, or you're not using your 1 gallon jugs of water. Those are just in case, just in case things go sideways, the utility companies turn off your water, and you have no other option to use your storage water. But we have a water filter in our house, and we use the tap water, and it filters out whatever is in there. Of course, it has to be clean water to filter it out. So that's just one thing that I would do right now, is to go out and get a water filter that you can store in the refrigerator and go back to it, and get some canned goods, get some non-perishable foods. Rice and beans is always a go-to. Get whatever you can store in your pantry, if you have a pantry, or in your fridge, or if you have a freezer. Store what you can. I know it's hard right now. A lot of people don't have the money to go out and just get a bunch of supplies and stuff, and I understand. This video is for you guys that don't have everything you need right now and are a little bit behind the curve. I know a few people who were a little bit behind the curve on this whole pandemic and sheltering in place thing, and they can't go anywhere. So I know the feeling. It's stressful, it's tough, and we are all trying to manage the best we can with this thing. Another thing I would say, if you don't have a can opener for your canned goods, please get a can opener. I've heard so many stories of people going out and getting canned goods and they don't have a can opener. And I'm like, okay, well, you can always use a knife, but can opener makes things a lot easier. Um, Portable battery supplies for your radios, um, or for your flashlights. Batteries are another great thing to have in storage and in stock right now, because we never know what the utility companies are going to do and what's going to happen. Um, so you don't know if the power is going to go out. And this is also good for disasters. If you're in a disaster prone area where hurricanes and floods are common, this is really good for you too if you are not already doing so. If you're already doing this, great. Just add more things to that list. But definitely batteries for your radios, your flashlights, anything that you use around the house that can take batteries. That's good. Um, Tools, wrenches, screwdrivers, screws. Those things are definitely good to have around the house if you want to fix something real quick. It's not a necessity, but it can always help. So you're not always using your hands for things and getting your hands, dirtied up, and broken, and scrapes and cuts and all that. Speaking of scrapes and cuts, I should have mentioned this one after the food and water. First aid. First aid is essential, especially right now. I hope you guys are staying safe out there and covering up your face and sometimes your eyes, depending on where you are, and you're washing your hands. But first aid supplies, a first aid kit in your house is always good. The band aids, the pads, the neosporin, and anything, little things that you can get like that, get them right now, because you don't want to be going to the hospital for a cut, and you're in the hospital and you're getting infected, and you just don't want to be around people. Another point: the less you are around people, the better it is. Seriously, guys, don't go anywhere that is not essential and that you don't need to go. Um, but yes, first aid is definitely the third on my list. If I had to get anything, would be first aid, and that's including any medications that you guys may need. I know right now it's very hard to get out to the pharmacy. Some pharmacies are closed, depending on where you're at. So if you can get the medications that you need, get the prescription medications that you need, because you never know what might happen coming up in these next few months. Um, Sanitation supplies. I know stores have been wiped out of this stuff recently, uh, but I did go into a couple of stores here locally that did have another supplies in stock of sanitation, hand wipes, Clorox, things like that, that you guys can get, dish soap, hand soap, things like that, that they're currently restocking. Surprisingly, at least in my area on the East Coast, um, stores and grocery stores have been pretty good on their stocks. It just is taking them a little bit of time because everybody's going to the store all at once. Especially this past the beginning of the month, the end of last month, everybody was going to the stores getting the same thing. The toilet paper, the wipes, all that stuff. But right now, you guys can go to the store and probably find some things that you couldn't find when everybody was rushing to the stores. Um, and also, a tip right now, we in my house, we only go to the store in the early morning or late at night when the store is just about to close. Like we'll get into the store like 30 minutes before it's about to close, and no one's in there. No one's out at that time. At least in my area, it might be the same for you. But you definitely don't want to be around people in the midday, in the afternoon, because there's gonna be people out, no matter what. Doesn't matter if there's a quarantine issue. People are just gonna be stubborn that way. Um, Definitely, we are getting into the springtime. So the shorts are coming out, the short sleeves are coming out, depending on where you are. But definitely having the proper clothing for you and your family, especially if you have kids or elderly, making sure that they're good to go. Um, let's see what else. Uh, Another important thing. this is good for now and for if you had to get up and leave your house, um, or if there was a fire in your house. Photocopies of everything that you have, your birth certificates, your credit card numbers, things like that. Have photocopies. Have things for emergency purposes that you can store in a safe place in your house or in a bag in your house that you can take it in emergency and get out of Dodge. Um, I know some stories where people have been hurt by hurricanes or flooding in their house, and all their materials and possessions are gone, they're wiped out. Especially their essential items, such as the credit cards, identification cards, license, and stuff like that, that they had to replace, and that can be a hassle to replace all that stuff. Um, Also, when you go to the store, get plastic bags. People don't think about it, but we have trash. We are human beings. We're going to collect trash. We're going to produce trash. We're going to throw away things, lots of food, lots of garbage. So have trash bags. Definitely get, the industrial bags as well, the black bags. Get that as well, because you never know what might happen. So definitely, being clean also goes with taking care of your garbage. Um, let's see what else is on the list here. Oh, and speaking of food, you want to plant a garden. I know in some locations and areas, they are limiting the essential items to, just food, essential foods. They don't categorize seeds or gardening as essential in some stores right now. So if you go to a store, you might be denied access to that area for seeds and gardening supplies. But definitely, if you can go to a store, get gardening supplies, get seeds, get seeds, because we don't know what's coming up, and we don't know how long the industry can keep up with restocking stores the way this is going. So if you can plant a little garden, some lettuce, basil, spinach, tomatoes, things like that, just try to. Even if you live in a little apartment, a little complex, you can do it. If you have a little backyard, a little front porch, you can do it. I mean, it's not that hard. It's very simple to do a little garden near your home where you have food that you can produce for yourself. Um, and I think that covers a lot of the things. So my top three: food, water, medical. After that, everything else is extra. But definitely take care of your food, water, and medical supplies. But again, I just want to do this for the people who are a little bit behind the curve and just want to catch up on ideas and things that they would need in the future and now, to prepare for what's coming and what might happen, because we still don't know exactly all that's happening around the world, especially in the United States. Things are looking better, and then it gets worse, and then it's up and down. So you just don't know. So that's my goal here at Prepared Mentality, for you guys to have the mindset and to be prepared for things that are coming our way, and not stress about it. We don't want to stress about this thing. We don't want to get angry. A lot of times we're cooped up in the house and we get angry, and our emotions get into it. And so don't be stressed. Don't be angry. Just do the things that you can. If you can't do things, don't stress about it. Just do the things that you can, little by little. And that will help you out in the long run. So I hope you guys are staying safe. I hope you guys are healthy. Be safe, be healthy, stay blessed.